I've done something terrible. I pre-ordered a casual vacancy for my Kindle. Before I get into that, I just want to say what an amazing job everyone did with their intro videos last week. You guys did awesome, and thank you so much for putting so much effort into them. I really appreciate it. But back to my original statement. I just pre-ordered A Casual Vacancy, which is J.K. Rowling's new adult book. And that's actually pretty awesome. I'm really excited for this book. I'm just not sure how I feel about this whole Kindle thing. I love books. Hard, tangible books. I love that satisfying feeling of turning a page, opening a hardcover book for the first time. You know, that satisfying crack you get when you open it. You know what I'm talking about. I even love the smell of books. I know it's weird, but I do. And you know that weirdo on public transportation who insists on talking to you about your book? That's me. I'm that creep. Do you know how much harder it is to be that person when you can't see the book cover? Having to look over people's shoulders and stuff? It's a lot harder than it used to be. And while I understand it's their fault for not jumping on the e-reader bandwagon earlier, I definitely blame Kindles and Nooks for the downfall of Borders, which used to be my favorite bookstore. Can you imagine a world where everyone has converted to e-readers? It's not that crazy. My brother's high school has already required all the students to buy an iPad in order to replace their old textbooks. But if the whole world were to convert to e-readers, where would all the Nerdfighter notes go? And what would book signings be like? Awkward. The crazy part, to me anyway, is that they're not really that cost effective. An ebook isn't that much cheaper than an actual printed book, and you get much less use out of them. When I find a book I like, I pass it on. I let anyone who wants to read it borrow it. But with e-readers, it's not that simple. Not every book has a sharing option, and those that do can only be shared with people who have the same type of e-reader as you. You may be wondering, if I hate e-readers so much, why do I own a Kindle? Well, as the tech-savvy bookworm in the family, my parents thought that I might like getting a Kindle for Christmas. And despite everything I just said, I'm starting to think they're right. I mean, the more I think about it, it's so much better for the environment. And then there's the fact that I could carry the entire Harry Potter series on this one little gadget, rather than having to lug around all 7 books. But I think what I like most about the e-reader is the instant gratification. I can see a book I want and just order it without ever having to leave my apartment, and then I don't have to wait for it to ship. I can just click it and read it. So clearly I'm pretty torn on this whole e-reader thing. I hate it, I love it, I hate that I love it. What do you guys think? Where do you stand on the whole e-reader versus printed books? Let me know in the comments. So this week, me and the rest of the Nerd Herd are going to be asking questions that will be answered by everybody on the channel next week. Kind of a way to get to know us since our channel's so new. So my question for everyone in the Nerd Herd, and anybody else watching who wants to answer this in the comments or with a video response, is do you guys name your gadgets? Do you name your cell phone or your laptop or your Kindle? If so, what have you named them? We're also supposed to name our nerdy pleasure for the week, which I totally didn't do last week. So this week, my nerdy pleasure was that Maureen Johnson, the amazing author, retweeted one of my tweets. If you don't follow her on Twitter, you should, because she's hilarious, but even more so because she actually interacts with the people. It's not just, here are my thoughts, deal with it. It's, here are my thoughts, let's interact. And I really like that about her. To finally have one of my tweets retweeted was just really awesome. So that's about it. I'll see you guys again on Monday, and Kyle, I'll see you tomorrow.